Hi Sheila, good morning.
Good morning, Ash. Ash, since people are not there, I just have one question.
Yeah.
In Fusion, like when we added one employee to the project means, like what role is needed to delete those person from the project, because resource manager doesn't have the option to delete, right? So what other option is needed to delete?
You are talking about if the project manager can delete it.
Mm, Project manager role, you mean to say?
Because project manager is someone who can assign the resources to the project, or he or she can
Mm,
decide whether if the person is needed or not.
yeah. No, actually, what has happened is it's a current scenario in my company. That's the reason I'm asking.
Hmm.
It, it's a backend team has went and added him. Like his initial, he was being first added from 1st Jan to 30th September. Again,
Hmm.
they, instead of extending the existing assignment, they went and added a new record, a
Hmm.
new assignment from 1st September. I mean, from 1st October.
Hmm.
What has happened? This person got moved from the he was being he was in Colombia country and he moved to Canada. So his
Hmm.
mail ID also got changed.
Hmm.
So when he moved out, but unable to, like when we try to add, the backend team went and added him,
Hmm.
but it is not coming in the front application view when we could see in the admin role.
Admin is not needed, I believe. This project manager, if someone having project manager role,
Mm.
he or she, I think can do this.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Project manager role
Mm.
is something you need to play around with the person on the task.
He doesn't have project manager role. Only resource manager role is there. In that case, we won't be able to delete that.
No. So what resource manager does is Okay, so in the resource management, we maintain a pool of resources.
Yes.
Okay, so his task is to maintain that. He
Okay.
cannot allocate a resource to a particular project or cannot delete any resource from the project. That will be taken care by project manager only. But whatever the resources are there,
Hmm.
irrespective of what project is going on in a
Hmm.
particular organization, that part will be taken care by resource manager.
Okay.
He or she maintains the resource pool. He or
Hmm.
she hires, add,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
delete the resources from the resource pool and not from the project.
Not from project. Okay. If I wanted to build a that resource, I said, right, that assignment IDs, what table I need to use to find out that particular table, if I wanted to see that the first assignment ID and the second assignment ID.
Table level detail, you may have to Google it. Okay, okay, you are talking about e-business suite or Fusion?
Fusion. Mhm. EBS suite, I know. Fusion, I'm not able to identify. That's the reason.
Fusion, the table is structure. I mean, we have to Google only because we don't work on the queries a lot on the Fusion.
Okay. Okay, Ash. Thanks.
Okay, so we'll start. So today I will tell you how we can add the user, how we can create the user, and how we can add roles to the user to perform the function. Like in e-business suite, we had a admin responsibility. So there, what we used to do, we used to create a user. We used to give a password. Then we will be assigning a responsibility to that user. And in that responsibility, there are some menus defined. And in that menus also, there are some functions defined, right?
Yes.
So, for example, uh, let's say our project costing itself. Okay, let's say for budgeting itself.
Mm.
Okay, you may have a menu to to allocate the budget, but you may not have some privileges or some functions to baseline it. So similarly, here also we have the same concept, but instead of responsibility, we call it as roles.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll show you. First, I will create one user, and then I'll explain the analogy between two.
Okay.
Okay, so we need a system administrator responsibility, right? In e-business suite
Yes.
to play around with a user and the user admin role. Here, what we need is we need IT security console. See, this role we need, this button we need to have an admin access. Okay, under tool security console, you can go to user and you add a user account. So you will create a user. Let's say Harsh 12, and now what I will do, I will add roles.
Yeah.
So let's say I add IT security manager. Then if you are a consultant, then you need application. This role you need to enable setup and maintenance.
Okay. So application implement console is for setup and maintenance.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Then you can assign the role, let's say project accountant, project administrator. Then you can assign financial analyst also. Okay. And let's see now how many tabs will be available. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's simple. I save and close. Okay. To add one. Now there is one more step we need to do is
Okay.
to run this program, which is run user and role synchronization. So normally what happens that whenever we make any changes to the roles to the users, it is automatically gets triggered.
Mm.
Okay, but for a safer side, as a good practice, we submit it manually also. We now go.
So to run this user role
Hmm.
synchronized program, can go to tools and there also schedule process there we can run this.
Yes, yes. So I will show you. I mean, when I log in next time, I'll show you that history would be there. It will be
Okay.
submitted there only.
Okay. But here you went for setup and maintenance and there you ran the program, right?
Hmm. That was easier for me to go and just simply run there instead of searching it.
So you mean to say the program will be available in the schedule process also, even in the setup and maintenance there
Yes,
also?
yes, and not only this one, there will be lot of programs which
Okay.
will be available in the setup and maintenance itself.
Okay.
You don't have to go every time to tools, schedule processes to do that. It would be there.
Okay.
Okay. So now we have
Projects.
project. Okay, all these tabs are available. And since we have added the financial analyst also, so financial analyst is a very strong role. It has a lot of privileges.
Okay.
So as soon as you assign financial analyst, a lot of tabs get opened. If you would have added only project accountant or
Mm.
contract admin, only project or contract tabs would have been opened for you. But finance analyst is a role which is needed in almost every module. Okay, so which is why a lot of tabs gets added to your dashboard.
Okay.
Okay, now this setup and maintenance is created as
Mm,
a result of adding application implementation consultant.
okay.
And we should also have a security console available here. See,
So when you added this application consultant, so by default, the security console also will assigned.
no, no. Security console will for security console we added IT. Sorry, I forgot. IT security
Oh,
manager.
okay.
Okay. So what you can do here, you can search your own user.
Sorry, I missed. How did you navigate to find the what all role has been assigned to your this hush?
Okay. So you just have to come to user, give your name. Your name will appear here. Just click on it and go down. You'll see all the roles which are assigned for your user.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you want to edit, to add or delete any row, you can do that. So now let's say I add one more role of this is also added. Yes. Okay, so now I will go to the roles, and now this is something you will need a lot of times if you are a security admin, because you don't because see, these are the seated rules which I gave to this particular users.
Hmm.
Now this particular user, as you have noticed, has an access to almost everything, right? But we don't want the users to be given access to everything. Okay, we only want them that area to be accessible which concerns them. For example, let's say there are two teams in projects. One is taking care of invoicing and one is taking care of the revenue part. So the one who's taking care of invoicing, you don't want that team to check the revenue. And once who's taking care of revenue, you don't want to check what is happening on the billing side, right? So this can be a genuine requirement. Now, in order to do so, what you will do, you will create custom rules. Okay. And like we had menus in the responsibility, similarly, here we have privileges. Show you how to do that. There are two ways of doing it. One is you can simply create a new role. Okay, what are these rules? I will tell you. Predefined is not enabled. Predefined as in it's a seated role.
Okay.
Now we will add your privileges here. Now, if your requirement is okay, let's say the role which you are creating, it should have a privilege of approve project contract invoice. This is added to your role. Allocate invoice charges. This is also added. These are not roles, these are privileges.
Status. Yes, I got
Okay.
it.
Uh, Now you have you can approve the invoices as well. So what is the code approve cost? Okay, so this is also added to this custom mode. Now you feel okay, these are the privileges, but in addition to this guy should be an employee also. We have added this role here. One more role we can add here, which is employee. This is an abstract role. No, it is already added. See, once we have added the uh, uh, employee admin, so it is already added in that role. Okay, so this is what it is. So these are some privileges, and then the rules which we have added. Whatever the privileges are there in that role, that also got copied into this.
Okay.
Okay, so now this part you can leave it for now. Role hierarchy, okay, you don't need it. You can decide whether you want to add it here or you want to add it later on. It's already added. And now we save and close. Hmm. Now we can go to schedule processes.
Yeah.
Yes. No. So this here will comes with LDAP. If you put LDAP, retrieve latest LDAP changes, it's the name of the job set, and again it synchronizes your roles, users, and everything.
So if we search with the user sync program, even there that also it will available, or we have to run only with LT app.
Okay, so if you are running it from the schedule processes, then
Yes.
you will have to know the program name.
Okay.
Okay, but if you go to the setup and implementation process,
Mm-hmm.
that is the name of the link. That
Okay.
is not the program name. Okay, once you submit, once you click on it, this program only will get triggered.
Okay.
Okay, getting the difference?
Yes, I got it.
So now users also, as you might have observed that when I was giving the user, there were different kinds of, sorry, when I was assigning the roles, there were different kinds of roles for, there like there is one which was abstract, there was one which is duty role, then there was one, I think, which is job role. So it's not something that we need to worry about, but just for the knowledge we need to know what is the difference. Okay, so this is as per a business scenario. Okay, this is irrespective of whether you are using Oracle or SAP. So job role is something like, uh, you're working as a general accountant, you're working as a HR administrator, you are working as a project manager, payable manager, project accountant. So these are your job role. Okay. So this will be kind of your designation in our organization, and this is the role which you will be performing.
Yes.
Okay. Now comes the abstract role. What is an abstract role now? Now, abstract role is a more generalized way or generalized version of your job role. So, like you are a payable manager or you are a general accountant, but are you an employee to that company, or you are a contingent worker to that company, or you are a third party vendor for that company? So, when I say third party, like the consultants, like if you are working for TCS, okay, and your client is, let's say, Motorola Solution, so you will be a third party vendor to that company. But if you are working with Motorola Solutions, and if you are a general accountant, then either you are an employee or you are a contingent worker. Okay,
Okay.
getting my point?
Yes, I got it.
Now, what is the duty role? Fine, you are a general accountant, but what are your duties in that? You are able to upload the journals, whether you are able to approve the journals, whether you are able, to check the trial balance and do the necessary changes, whether you are able to run the logbox and make the payments if you are a finance guy or an AR guy, whether you are able to do that or not. So, in that particular job role, what are the duties you got to follow? So
Mm.
that also is there, and that with that duty also we can select. So here, if I show you,
So is there any difference for employee and contingent employee and the contract uh, when we assign a role, or is it going there will not be any change? We can assign any role to any of these people.
sorry, I didn't get your question.
No, while mapping the roles, I mean, while assigning the role, as you were saying, for employee and contingent employee, right?
Mhm.
Contractor, like only for employee this role will be given, contingent will not be able to, system won't allow to add them. Is it some restriction will be there, or we can go for anybody the role can be mapped?
No, see, if you have a security console, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay, so there is no limitation for it.
Okay. It is not on the employee type, like what type he is.
Hmm. So why? So basically, why we use employee in particular is because once you are employed, uh, you are supposed to do all these things like whichever uh, whichever work is coming under these tabs. Like for example, if you are an employee, you can be a general accountant, you can
Okay.
be a project manager, but consider you are not an employee of a company. You are a consultant. Okay, you are working with TCS and you are a consultant. So your part would be only to do the setup and maintenance.
Okay.
Okay, configure the application and leave this part to the employee.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in general practice, because these things are needed by the consultant also, because the SME from the client, they consult the consultant on a day-to-day basis. For example, like my general is not getting posted, or my project is not generating the invoices. So, what consultant will do if he does not have the access to these tabs, he or she might not be able to help them. So,
Yes.
in general practice, these we give the access to these tabs. However, if you talk about Oracle standard practice, these tabs should be available to the person who is the employee of the company, right? Or a contingent worker. And then the consultant or the third party should not be exposed to the organization day-to-day operation. Okay, the consultant may be okay. Now let's say there are five consultants working in an organization. Okay, there is one senior consultant, and then there are four junior consultants who are assisting them. So those four junior consultants will definitely not have an access to these tabs. Okay, fine. One senior consultant can be given an employee role also to assist the SME on a day-to-day basis. But the same thing we don't need expect from the junior consultant to do so. So they will not have an access to them and they will not have an employee role as well. Okay, getting my point?
Yes, got it.
Okay, I will tell you one more thing.
Okay.
It's not that only if you are an employee, you will have access to these things. Okay, even if you are not an employee, you can have an access to all these tabs. We can do so. Okay, but there are certain things which an employee can only do. For example, project template creation. Okay, so this is something for to do so. This is to do so, you need to be an employee of the organization. Okay, now you will be granted to these tabs. Okay, and then with these tabs you can maybe import the cost, or you can manage your project, do a number of things. Okay, see, see, you cannot access this page because you are not a project enterprise resource. Contact the project application administrator. So there are a lot of things which you can do, but there are a lot of things you you can do only if you are an employee to that particular organization. Okay, for example, I think I can manage project cost. At least I can see. Okay, now I don't have an access to any of the business unit. And this is what I will tell you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so getting this point.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, so I again go to the security console. I was Hmm. So see, if you see, observe here, we have
Mm.
job roles, we have duty roles, we have extract role, we have privileges, and we have aggregated privileges. So duty role, which as I said, this also you can add. Like for example, if you don't know the privilege, okay, so privileges is something at a very minute level. Okay, if you have gained a good experience in the system admin, then you will know the privileges. Or you may have to search in the Google or in the user guide. Okay, if I want to enable this for invoice creation, what all are the privileges I need? Okay, but if your requirement is clear that, okay, I need this guy or whoever is accessible to this role, this should be able to create the invoices. So what you will do? You will simply search for the duty rules.
Okay.
Okay, now, what are the duty rules we have? Inventory administration. That's for an example I'm saying. Okay. So this guy will be able to maintain all the inventory in the SCM. Okay. Let's consider project asset maintenance. Okay. So see, there is only one privilege given to this. Now, what you can do is you can create your role. You can add the duty roles as well. Okay. You can do so. You're getting my point? So
Yes.
instead of keep on adding the privileges, or instead of adding directly the roles which will ultimately inherit all the privileges irrespective of whether you need it or not, you can also play around with the duty roles as well.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an overview of user creation, your roles, this process which you got to run once you have finished making any changes. Now, tomorrow, when we will come, we will see now. Have you noticed that I was not able to access the business unit?
Yes.
So I had all the access to to the tabs, to everything. I had an employee. Okay, I did not have the employee access, but still I have a financial inquiry or financial analyst role, which enabled me to have access to most of the tabs. But still, I was not able to see anything. I cannot see any project.
Yes.
Okay, because we have something called reference data set. Okay, so this is something I will explain you tomorrow in detail, but just to create a background, I'll tell you. We have something called reference data set in Fusion. Now, what reference data set will do is, uh, suppose if you have a requirement that your operations is happening in two countries, okay, India and Malaysia. So
mm,
obviously, you do not want Malaysian users to access the India transactions and vice versa, India users to not access the Malaysian transactions. So what you will do here is whenever you are creating this role, so we will assign a reference group to that particular role. Okay, and that reference group can be at either the business unit level. Okay, business unit level. When I say, okay, if you're so business unit and all, again, I will explain this later as we progress, but you can restrict them geographically that, okay, India users cannot access the Malaysian transactions and vice versa, or you can do it at a ledger level also, or at a legal entity level also. So you have two legal entities,
mm,
okay? And in that legal entities, let's say in India legal entity, you will have two business units or two organizations which are Mumbai and Delhi. So you can give access to both of them, right? So
mm,
in that case, what you will do, you will segregate based on the legal entity. Okay, now Malaysia has a different legal entity, and under that legal entity, you will have different organization. So likewise, at each level, we can do this segregation and we can do enforce this security. Now there is another part of it. Consider you are a consultant.
mm,
Okay. So as a consultant, also your organization does not want to play around to give you access of all the configuration. Okay. So let's say you have given access to setup and maintenance. Project financial management. No, let's say mm, okay, let's say expenditure categories. Okay. So these are the expenditure categories for India. So if you are a Malaysian user, you will not be exposed to these expenditure categories which belongs to India. So let's say these expenditure category, okay, is a setup. So this setup wise also you can do the segregation that expenditure categories, okay, Sheila will be able to do the setups whatever related to expenditure category. Now revenue category, Sheila will not have an access. Okay, someone
yeah,
else, maybe Neetu or maybe Krishna would have an access to the revenue category, but they may not have an access to your this setup. Okay, so this setup wise also you can, you know, do this segregation, and this setup wise also, so expenditure category is available to be configured for India and Malaysia. Now you have Canada as a, you know, one more business unit, so you do not want the Canada to use these expenditure category. So you can restrict them as well using the reference data set. How you will restrict them, that I will explain you tomorrow. Okay, there
okay,
are lot of criterias under it, but at an overview, as an overview, you just think of that you can restrict the configurations across the business unit. You can restrict the users to have an access or do not have an access for other business unit, or you can do this, you know, you can enforce this security at a legal entity level also. Okay,
okay,
so there are a lot of options available if you are a security admin, you know, in the Fusion, and there are a lot of things you can do. So you remember these kind of options. we used to control using the profile.
Yes, profile.
Okay. So what we used to do using the profile, this is somewhat similar, but it is having more features added into it. Okay. And this I will explain you tomorrow in detail.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so just you said like you said, we will be having this reference database, right? That a business unit and legal entity.
Hmm, hmm.
Like one, we will be. This is like we will create and then we will map, and that will you will show us how we will be restricting only the India employee will get access, not to Malaysian people. That also you'll be.
Yes, 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 I will do that.
Okay, sure. And also, one more thing, the security rule, you were saying it, right? Job role, duty role, abstract role. Is it like only the privilege if we give, that will be an additional privilege. But when we go and select only the job role, so whatever for that particular role is met, that will give them the access to do it, right?
So see, role. Okay, let's say you're talking about abstract role, right? Like employee, contingent worker.
Yes.
Okay. So see, abstract role like employee, contingent worker, this will have certain privileges. Okay. This will have certain things which you can perform. For example, project template creation. This you can only do if you are an employee. Okay. So, but it does not mean that you will be given an access of the project tab. For that, you need to add the role which is responsible to get you the project tab, which is either project management, either project manager, or project accountant, or project analyst, or financial analyst.
Yeah.
Okay, so to give an access to that tab, you need to assign the roles first, and with that, what you're gonna do with those tabs, that you can decide using, the abstract role, whether you want to have an employee or contingent worker or a consultant only. So let's consider this example. Now, you are a consultant from the TCS, and your client is Motorola Solutions. So now, you have done with your configuration. Now, you will be helping their SME on a day-to-day basis, like project costing, some invoices are not getting created, or some task you will be creating. So like that, you will be helping them on a day-to-day basis. But they do not want you to create the project template. That will be too much of an access for you as a third party vendor. So for that, you need to be an employee of that particular organization. Now, now getting the picture.
Yeah, I got. So you said to create a project template, so that will be restricted. So in what criteria they will go and restrict us? Because the job role means it will be having everything, right? Or like where they will be stopping that.
Okay. Okay. So let's say, just a minute, there is someone join. Hi, can I know your name?
Hi, this is Prasanna.
Sorry,
Prasanna, Sheila's friend.
Prasanna. Okay, Prasanna, I saw you joined at around 9 a.m. Yesterday also, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so we are starting by around 8:30.
actually, I need to drop my kid to school. So 8:30, I am not able to join.
Okay, okay. So that part you can check with Prasad. Okay, so I started at 8:30, but I will give you a recap of what we have done till now.
Okay.
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 I saw you joined yesterday also, but I couldn't, take your name. Okay. So, Prasanna, what I am telling today is how we can create a role. Sorry, how we can create a user. Okay. So, to access
Okay.
this particular application, we need a user. Fine. So, we
Okay.
can come here. Okay. Sorry, you can go to these three lines. You can go to the tools. You can go to security console.
Okay.
Okay. So this security console is something you must have in the in your roles in order to create or to assign any roles to the user. It is like a system administrator. So are you well versed with Oracle ERP system, Prasanna?
Yeah. Yes.
So have you worked on the Fusion or you are working on a business suite?
Both I'm working.
Okay, so you are working, so you are aware of the Fusion practice also, right? So you might be
Not very
aware.
much knowledge. Basic thing I know.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, got it. Okay, so this part understood, right? That we need to have security console uh, button enabled in order to create the user, right?
Yeah.
So now you can come to user and you can add a user account. You can say Prasanna. Okay. You can give a 8-digit password. Now we can add rules. So let's say IT security manager. Okay. So this will
Okay.
give you an access to security console,
Security.
application implementation consultant. This will give you an access to setup and maintenance. You know what is setup and maintenance?
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Okay. Okay. So these two roles you need. Okay. Now I'm save and close.
I have one doubt.
Hmm.
In EBS, we are having implementation user and a super user. Okay. In implementation, we can do the all the setup, and compared to that, super billing super user will be have less privilege only. Likewise, in Fusion also, we are having anything.
Yes, we have. I'll tell you. I'll come to that. Okay. So with this, you have an excess of setup and maintenance and your security console. Okay. Okay. So Prasanna, here in Fusion, we have some predefined roles. Okay. Which is
Okay.
nothing, but you can think of it as a responsibilities of our e-business suite. So it can be like a super user responsibility. It can be a norm inquiry responsibility. However, like we can create our own responsibility in e-business suite, and we can add different menus into it. Similar thing, we can do that in Fusion also. So what we can do here is we can create a custom role, which is nothing but creating a custom responsibility. And we can add privileges, duty roles, abstract roles into it. Okay, this I will show you right now.
Okay.
Okay. So do you see a create role is there?
Yeah.
Using this create role, it's like creating your own responsibility. Okay. And here you can select abstract role or whatever you want to do. So are you aware of what abstract role duty roles is?
No idea.
Okay, okay, I will tell you. So for now, let's put it as abstract. Okay. So your doubt was, Shilu, that at which level we will restrict it, right?
Yes, Harsh.
Okay. So let's say you have uh, given project accountant role. Okay. What project accountant guy does is he can import the cost. Okay. He or she can, create the invoices. He or she can distribute the cost, send it to the GL.
Okay.
Now, this guy won't be able to create the project template or the contract template. Okay. So we have not given him an access to do so. Okay, wait, it is not added. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, see now this project manager. Okay, so this he can only view the labor cost. See, do you see? Allows viewing of labor cost on the project expenditure item. Now, if you want to add few more privileges to this, so you can do so. Okay, manage project template. Okay, so now whoever will have an access of this particular role can view the project labor cost, also can manage the project template. Or let's add some duty role also. Contract amendment. Okay, so this person can, okay, there are no privileges here. Okay, now I have given a duty role of contract authoring. So what this guy now can do, he can assign a contract owner, he can create a contract, define contract documents. So these all privileges this role is having, and whoever is assigned to this role can do these functions. Now, if you do not want some of these features, okay, so you can come and delete that privilege also. You don't want this guy to maintain the contract work area, you can delete it as well. So this is how you will control what a role can do, or what a person having this role can do or cannot do. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Is this understood, Prasanna?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how you create a custom role which is similar to the custom responsibility in your e-business suite, and this is how you will add privileges, roles, duty roles into it. Okay,
Okay.
now you can add the resources also here who will have an access, or you can go to the user and you can add your resource here also, which we just now created. Okay. Okay, and at the end, you will have, you can either go to setup and maintenance. Prasanna, you know, right? Setup and
Yeah.
maintenance is something in where we configure the application. Okay, and when I come to the home page, the tabs which were visible to you, that is something we configure the application and we give it to the user to use that application using those tabs. And how do we control that those tabs? using the rules and privileges which which we will give to them using the security console.
Okay, okay.
So now once you have done this, you will come here and you will click on this and you will run this program. So Sheila, see, ultimately this program is only getting triggered.
Yes, got it.
Okay. And if you know the program name already, you can come to the tools, you can come to the schedule processes, and you can run this program as well. Okay. So Prasanna, this program we need to run if whenever we make any changes to the user or to the rules.
Okay.
Okay, now just one more thing, Prasanna, that we have three roles in general in an organization. Job role, which is like if you are a general accountant, a payable manager, or HR manager. Okay. And abstract roles, like if you are an employee or a contingent worker or a third party, vendor. And then you have duty role, whether you are allowed to do the invoice creation, general ledger creation, or project creation, project template creation. So you have these duty roles also. And why it is important for you to know that? Because if you are a security admin, so you will have to decide at which level you will be, providing this access. So when you create a role, okay, you see duty role, job role, abstract role, what kind of a role you are creating. And accordingly, you will be adding privileges to that role. And that role will be assigned to someone. Okay. So this is why it is important for you to know that whether you are creating a duty role like invoice creation. Now, if it is invoice creation, so what are all the privileges needed for invoice creation? In addition to that, if you want to give some additional privilege like revenue creation also, so you can give that. Okay. If you're if you're creating a job role like payable manager or general accounting, so there are a lot of options you have. You will have a lot of options to you can add or you can reduce the privileges or you can inherit the privileges from the job role. Okay. So this is how it goes. If you have any doubts, Prasanna, we will take it up. Okay, you can go through the recording once, and we can take it up tomorrow when you join.
Sure, sure.
Okay, and the recording of yesterday's session is also available, so you can go through it once.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so this is it for today. We will join tomorrow at the same time.
Okay, thanks, Sash. Thanks for your time.
Okay. Thanks,
Okay. Thank you.
thanks, Prasanna.
Thank you.
Bye.